Hi, everybody. Mambo Sam here. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well despite all the craziness in the world, because there's plenty to go around, right? Anyway, speaking of things to fight about and fight for, let's talk about Mr. Ogoun, the great and powerful Ogoun. Now, we most of the time we're working with Ogoun Feraille simply because of the nature of the work that we're doing. The spells that we use that he is figured into are exactly the kind of spells that we would want to be using Ogoun Feraille in. Of course, as you pretty much probably all know, there are more than one Ogouns to go around. Um, and there's a saying we've talked about before, all Ogouns are Ogoun. And, it's one of those things of, in a lot of mystical things, we get questions about how do three entities become one? How does this entity morph into something else when we need it to be something else? And then it morphs back into what we consider its original form. Something to bear in mind about this is, as with all Loa, you're working with your aspect of Ogoun. So how Ogoun appears to you, what you think he looks and sounds like, um, what your personal relationship is with him, those things are all valid. You will run into people that tell you that that is not valid, but I'm going to tell you it is 100% valid because it's just like anything else in life. Most of us are not one thing. Most of us are many things: a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a teacher, a coworker, a coach. That's just one person, just one person. So I like to look at the Loa in that same way, and that's where we come up with the term of aspects. So technically speaking, when you're working with Ogoun Feraille, you are working with all of the essence of the Ogouns, okay? So you're working with all of that essence. Where things get down to being a little selective is, what are you doing? And so, so we'll talk about Ogoun Feraille for a minute. One important thing to remember about him is he wants you to be strong. So sometimes we're not, and that's okay. But what his real goal for you is for you to be strong and for you to be able to stand up for yourself, for you to be able to make your way in the world. He'll be there to help anytime you ask. But one of his main goals for you is for you to have the fortitude to stand up to the problems that you are encountering. He's always going to be right there behind you, but sometimes you can almost feel yourself being pushed forward into a situation that you're like, I don't think I'm ready for this. Well, if you feel that and you've been working with Ogoun and you feel sort of pushed, that's him pushing you, telling you, yes, you're ready, speak up, do what you need to do. Um, so I think that that's it's an interesting dichotomy in that he wants you to be strong, but he also wants to be strong for you and protect you. Um, but I always think like he's a good father. Um, like my father, he wanted me to be better than him, to have more education, to have more opportunities, um, you know, that kind of thing. Every accomplishment that I made, um, my dad was so proud and would just always tell me, keep going, keep going, keep going. When I got into trouble, when I fell flat on my butt, daddy, and daddy would come get me or send me $50, whatever it was. So I kind of look at Ogoun like that, like he's a good father. Like he wants his followers and children to be brave, to stand up in the face of adversity, to make their own way, to kick down doors and not take no for an answer. But he's still there to help you accomplish those things. And when you start to doubt yourself, he's especially there to put in your head that you can do this. You can. So he is a great protector, like any good father would be. But also get out there and let's get you going. Will he always want to be around? Of course. Once you start working with any Loa really, and you develop that relationship, they always want you around. And we're hopefully not always doing service to the Loa that is just something that benefits us. They want you to, when you get past that hump of like, okay, I got benefit, 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 benefit. Now's the time to do something as simple as a thank you ritual, something to just honor Ogoun or any other Loa for that matter, or even better, do something for someone else in their name. So this is something Sister Bridget and I do a lot. And, that is, for instance, if we go donate something to the, excuse me, the dog shelter, we'll do that in Papa Legba's name, in his honor. So we're not asking him for anything. We're just like, here's dog food, here's everything. But in our minds and how we are approaching that donation is that is to honor Papa Legba and to thank him, for everything he does for us. So I have noticed that Ogoun Feraille, and this is something that I was working with the Loa for a little while before I really figured out he likes presents. Ogoun Feraille likes presents. And, we always kind of think of some other Loa maybe like finery and presents more, but he likes thoughtful presents and they don't have to be $1 million. Anything that you think, little toy sword, something made of iron, anything like that. Even light a little fire safely in his honor and just let that fire burn and honor him. So yeah, it was interesting to me to find out that he is a lover of presents. So bear that in mind, share that little info with you. So the other thing is that I wanted to talk to you guys about is, sorry, I'm having allergies. When you walk with Ogoun, you are walking with, as far as the Vodou pantheon is considered, you're walking with possibly the strongest Loa that there is. Strong being a relative term. They're all strong and they all do different things, but he is great if you're going like into a dangerous situation, or you suddenly, you're somewhere, you start to feel uneasy. You're like, I don't know, think I'm going to get out of here. Call him to your side, especially if you've been working with him. Just call him to your side. And these emergency kind of things is where we can forego calling on Papa Legba to now open the gate and let Ogoun through. Sometimes we don't have that kind of time if we feel like we're kind of getting backed into a corner in a weird situation. Just call him to your side feel that strength and then do what you have to do to get the hell out of there. I've quite a few stories about people calling on Ogoun, and bam, they felt he was right there, like right there. Um, so be friends, be mindful. When I talk about being friends with a Loa, sometimes I get I get guff from people, like I care, whatever. Um, but part of their criticism is that they don't think that there's enough reverence towards that entity. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But there is. And it's the more you work with a Loa, just by nature, the more familiar you're going to get. And Ogoun is no exception. Yes, he does come across as a big, scary man energy. He does. There's a lot of times when you'd like to have that. So, but it doesn't mean that you can't be friends too, and sit and talk and just pour your heart out and ask for strength and all the things that you need from him. And he will definitely bring them. Next time you're going into a situation where you're just not, you're like, whether it's a job interview or a first date or I don't know, whatever makes you nervous. I'm so old now, nothing makes me nervous, so okay. But things do still make people nervous. And so call on him, ask him, hey, I've got to go on this job interview. Walk with me, stand behind me. Um, give me that little extra push that I need. So I know that Sister Bridget has lots of other things planned, so I'm not going to pick up all the time here. But my main thing that I want you to do is broaden your horizons. And we'll just start with Ogoun Feraille because that's what we're here for. But it's true for all Loa. Broaden your horizons because keeping them in a box um doesn't help them and it doesn't help you. So make that connection, make that relationship. People sometimes think he's scary. He's not, he's just strong. And sometimes his power can seem a little overwhelming. So if that's true and you happen to be, okay, Ogoun, I'm gonna do a little ritual for you, and I'm gonna ask for help on this job interview kind of thing, and you start doing your thing and you kind of start feeling overwhelmed and like, a great power is enveloping you to the point where it kind of starts to make you kind of be nervous, tell him, tell him, I'm getting nervous, help me calm down and, help me do the best thing I can to reach your energy and not be so nervous. And you'll feel sort of a gradual, little bit of a pullback because that's the other thing is it's going to be different for everyone. And you have to find what your what your level of comfort is, especially with a big, strong Loa like Ogoun. For the most part, everybody loves him. So don't be afraid and have fun. And we have a little gift for you guys. Sister Bridget will tell you about it. And thank you for being here.